Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again with another review that we will be reacting to, which is likely the only review that you'll be seeing with this much depth covering this upcoming game from Hoyoverse. Yes, it's for Honkai Nexus Anima. He played it, so we don't have to. But this is the thing. I don't think anyone was actually planning on, like, maining this game at all. So, to me, literally, this is one of the best things we could possibly react to. Maybe some people are curious, right? Maybe some people would like to have a bit of a thought for whether or not they should actually try this game. It blends things like team fight tactics with like Pokemon Go, with like Gacha and other stuff like that. And like, sure, it's trying to do a lot, but I think a lot of people realized it does look a little bit but maybe it's better than we thought. Or maybe it's worse. This guy's played 100 hours in the closed beta test. I don't know how long that beta test was. Like let me just see how Honkai Nexus Anima CBT duration. I need to turn on safe search for that one. Yeah, I need to turn on safe search every time I look up CBT duration. It lasted from July 9th to July 27th. So it's still ongoing right now. Okay. It's still ongoing right now. So he's played 100 hours in about 13 days. 100 hours in 13 days, by the way, is more than a full-time job because you work 40 hours a week on a full-time job. And that's 80 in 2 weeks. 13 days is roughly 2 work weeks, and so he played this game more than a full-time job. Just so you know, yes, he played this game more than a full-time job. That's just the facts.
This video is not sponsored and are my honest thoughts on the upcoming Hoyoverse title, Honkai Nexus Anima.
He sounds like somebody that would play this game like a job. Just wanted to comment on that.
During this closed beta,
and it's also not sponsored, that's good,
test in July, I played this game thoroughly. I cleared the in-game, I caught as many animas as I could, I tried different team compositions.
This is the Pokemon Go part.
And most importantly,
really looks like it, doesn't it?
I asked myself,
except for the part where the Pokemon looks retarded, because this thing it looks retarded. It's a rabbit with boxing gear on.
Is this game even worth playing? Which I think is the most important thing to ask yourself when judging a gacha game in 2026.
That's a question that I feel like a lot of gacha gamers and a lot of reviewers for these gacha games, they don't ask themselves and they don't answer it in their videos. Guys, truly, think about recent releases and ask yourself, are they worth playing? Think about NTE and the side game fishing system, right? Think about what is required to progress. You sitting there and pressing 2 buttons for 30 hours. And like, that's part of the progression. That's part of completing the game. That's part of playing it. You look at this, is this worth playing? And the immediate answer when you engage with any of these games, you engage with AKE, you engage with NTE, the answer is no. While you're doing your AKE dailies, right? And you're going ahead, right? You're doing your AK dailies and you're FedExing from one spot to another for like the smallest amount of shit ever, but it's still required to get... No. A lot of these games, the answer is no, but that's why the question never gets asked or answered in these reviews, because the reviewers themselves know it's not worth playing, but they're getting sponsored to say it is.
And the reason being is, well, most people play multiple gachas already.
And this is the important part. Guys, even if a game's free, you're still spending resources on it. It's called your time, because the time you're spending here is time you're not spending elsewhere. Instead of playing this game or playing AKE or playing Enfield, you could go on a walk and lose weight, because probably there's a good chance if you're a gacha gamer watching my channel, you could lose a little bit of weight, right? Or you could learn how to cook. You could do a bunch of things, a lot of them productive. And if a game's bad, and you're spending time playing a bad game because it's free, and that's the only reason why you're playing it, you're still spending. Don't worry. Just because a game's free doesn't mean it's suddenly worth playing.
Is Honkai Nexus Anima worthy of being in that rotation?
Dream rotation or Nightmare Blend? Who knows?
I'm going to answer that question today with my review, which will cover both positive things as well as some negative parts.
Unk was projecting. All right, how about this? All right, next time someone wants to comment on my weight, here's a prerequisite. All right, next time someone wants to comment on my weight, here's a prerequisite. You got to take a side-by-side photo. You got to take a side-by-side photo of your torso, right? You got to take a side-by-side photo of your torso, and you got to have better than me. That's my stomach. That's my chest. That's my stomach. You gotta have a better fucking, what's it called? Okay, angle than me. All right? You better have like a remember, that's my stomach right here. This is my chest. Okay? All right? That's my build. My chest sticks out. If I was fat, my stomach would stick out further than my chest. That's how it works, bro. That's how it works.
My name is True Evil, and here's the only honest take of Honkai Nexus Anima that you need. First off, this game is a creature collector with auto chess gameplay.
Pokemon Go with TFT combined.
Due to that, this game is really refreshing if you are bored of every single mainstream gacha game having gameplay that revolves around switching between 3 or 4 characters in real-time action gameplay.
So basically, if you want to play like something akin to an AFK battler.
Not only that, but your team is made up of 8 animas and 3 characters called Idoses, which means for at least for the first couple of months, you're going to be using some 3 and 4 star ranked animas instead of just using 5 stars exclusively, which is great because in this game, when you catch an anima you already have, you get duplicates of that anima.
Okay, so you can catch some of them too. Can you catch 5 stars?
One thing that is refreshing about this as well, if you like catching creatures in your creature collector game, you are going to be doing that a lot. And there are shinies in this game too, so even after you have all the animas and all the dupes of those animas, you can still go on that creature collector hunt.
How do I catch them though?
We will come back to catching animas later, because honestly, one of the biggest criticisms I have from this beta will revolve around this, but
it sounds like the entire game hinges on the catching system. I build teas with the stuff I catch. I progress my things with the stuff I catch. Isn't the catching system kind of like the baseline? Like imagine Pokemon without the catching part. We talk about them fighting each other, but I'm just like, how do I get a Pokemon?
But let's keep up with that positive energy before going to the negative.
Okay, that's fair. It's a 6-minute video. It's a 7-minute video. He'll shit on it soon.
Since you are using a team of 8 animas, there are a lot of team composition possibilities compared to any other gacha I've played in recent memory.
Maybe he's only going to talk for like 1 minute, then he's going to shit on the game for the rest of the video. I feel like that's where it's going to go. I feel like he mentioned we need to stick with the positives because there's not that many left.
And the abilities of those animas are really unique. Some have insane crowd control, some can teleport across the map.
Okay, so they're just like team fight tactics units, which all have abilities which are unique to the character, where one can shield, one can CC, one can teleport across the map, one can go ahead and become invulnerable, like a 3-star Orn with 3 items, stuff like that.
Some are just...
And 7 Space Groove, and if you fought against a 3-star Orn with Gargoyle Stoneplate, Warmogs, and Steadfast Heart on 7 Space Groove, you know what I'm talking about.
Those big chunky boys. But most importantly, there is just so much variety at play. I enjoyed this a lot, and the roguelite in this game, which is called Apex Club, is actually a ton of fun, especially compared to some recent gachas. In Neverness to Everness, for example, their roguelite is called Pink Paws Heist, which is basically doing the same thing over and over. And in Honkai Nexus Anima, no 2 runs of Apex Club are the same.
I didn't even know you were in the roguelike mode, so maybe it's not as good as we thought.
And since it's auto chess, you can play this comfortably on a second monitor or on your phone while playing another game.
That's a benefit to a game like this. I think people can tell that this game is not even slightly close to even being anything like a main game. And this is where I'm going to throw a game like this a bone. I don't think it's trying to necessarily be anything more than it's trying to be right now. And this is one of the benefits of a low investment game like this. It's low investment, and that also means it can be low rewards too. And if this is something where it feels like it doesn't take a lot of time for you to get absorbed, and you also don't really care how much you're getting out of it, then that can be a nice little market, right? Because it's fair to say that games like Honkai Star Rail, games like Genshin, games like Zenless Zone Zero, those aren't second monitor games, right? Except maybe HSR. HSR is kind of similar as a second monitor game, but it asks you to play Giga Sweaty in the end game, so it kind of isn't, right? Those really aren't second monitor games. And that means that you can't, like, play Wuwa and then, like, play Honkai Nexus Anima. Or you can kind of play Wuwa and Honkai Nexus Anima at the same time, but you never play Wuwa and Genshin Impact at the same time. Sorry, that's the correction over there. And that means that it opens up the door, right, a lot more to this game. Maybe while you're watching anime or watching YouTube videos or something like that, you can, like, multitask with it more effectively. And does that mean it's something that's going to be successful? God fucking no. No, there are a lot of games like that. But it does mean that it's addressing a different market and not necessarily, like, cannibalizing the rest of Hoyo's products. Because this is what happens when you have games like Zenless, Genshin, and HSR. They compete with each other. Guys, I don't think there's that many people playing all three games at a single time. And I'm pretty sure that there are some people that are dropping one of Hoyo's games to have time or the resources or just the money to play the other game under the Hoyo umbrella. Some people drop Genshin to play ZZZ. Some people drop ZZZ to play Genshin. Some people drop HSR to play whatever. And when that occurs, I don't think people are going to be dropping any of Hoyo's games to play Nexus Anima. They'll probably add Nexus Anima on top. And that's a benefit of its own. Just speaking about this from, like, a business sense. This has nothing to do with how actually good the game is. The game could be a steaming pile of shit and everything I said would be true. It's simply just the format of how the game is designed.
That's a big thing with this one. This is going to be the most mobile-friendly Hoyoverse game ever in my
Another point that you brought up that's good.
Personal opinion, and I'm a fan of that. If you are someone who wants to play multiple gacha games at once, this is definitely an easy game to pick up that respects your time.
And I've said this about HSR too. Most gacha games should play as well as HSR does on mobile. Most of them should, but none of them really do. And it's a good benefit to HSR that it plays almost identically to mobile as it does on, like, the computer or other platforms.
In this beta, there was nothing that was considered grindy. Dailies are really quick, and then everything else is sort of based on your own playing time and how much you want to put in. You can log in for 2 minutes and just burn your stamina and get your dailies done, or you can play for 10 to 20 minutes doing in-game.
Why is the footage, like, lagging? Isn't this recorded on the computer? There's no way this shit is unoptimized, right?
And bonding, aka catching animas, or you could just do that for hours on end. Super chill. In fact, I
will say this. The combat looks like it takes a disgustingly long amount of time from what I'm seeing on the screen. Bro, like, if you've played TFT, this looks like you're in slow motion. This straight up looks like you're in fucking slow motion if you've ever played a TFT match before.
Really love this, and the graphics are really nice. They are much more improved.
Like, do they have a times 16? Yeah, a 16x speed feature
in the last beta. There's only one negative thing, though, I have to say about this game, and honestly, this is what is going to make or break Honkai Nexus Anima, in my personal opinion. In Hoyo games, we know about weapon banners, and if you're like me, you absolutely hate weapon banners. They are usually just a way to make you cough up more money for characters, but in Honkai Nexus Anima, this is where the weapon banner may cross the line for me.
Oh, so the biggest problem with this game is the gacha system. So this is where the story is, I guess, going to make a bit of a shift because, we're about, I guess it's just going to be 3 minutes of him shitting on it.
The Idoses are trainers, which you use in the game and what you pull for on the banner.
Oh, I see. So you need to pull the characters at the bottom. You need to pull Blade. You need to pull Kiana. You need to pull all the... Okay, that's what you're pulling. Okay, maybe you don't pull... You don't pull the animals.
Have a signature anima.
Bro, what is this?
And that anima is basically a weapon with an anima banner. Now we...
Oh, so you do have to pull the... You do have to pull the animals. Okay, so you gotta pull the character, and then you gotta pull the signature anima. Bro, this is like... Bro, imagine if you played Pokemon Go and you had to buy Pikachu. You gotta play Pokemon Go. You had to go buy the signature. You can't go catch a Dragonite. You gotta go buy them. Bro, no, it's like they're legendary Pokemon. No! It's like you gotta buy the legendaries. No, you can't catch Rayquaza. You can't catch Groudon. You gotta go buy them. All the other fucking loser Pokemon you can go get. You can get them for free. Yeah, all the fucking loser ones. Like Cubone? Yeah, take that motherfucker. He's free. Fuck that dude. Groudon, though? Get the fuck out of here. Poor ass motherfucker.
Don't know specifics about the banner because the game isn't actually out.
Guys, when these gacha companies start like keeping details about how their gacha works under wraps, bro, it really feels like to me like evil scientists like making the next COVID. Like that's what it feels like. Where they're like devilishly scheming behind the scenes of how to make the most cancerous system possible. Like that's what it feels like when a game is secretive about their gacha system in the beta. I don't like it.
Because, well, as you can read on the screen, this isn't the finished product, and everything is up to change. But right now, there's an Anima banner, so I can only assume there is going to be an Anima.
You also know it was up to change too. Enfield's gacha system was the same from each beta to now. Wait, now I know what probably it is. It's probably because Enfield's gacha was in its first closed beta test ever. I was the only one shitting on the gacha. Enfield got shill-ass feedback from its retarded fucking testers, and they all said, it's amazing, the gacha's so good. The game releases, Enfield still believes its gacha system is great because of the retarded testers, and then the game dies. Like, that must be it, because Enfield's gacha system was the same from its first CBT to its second one. They didn't change shit, and now the game's dead.
A banner when there is an Eidos or trainer banner alongside it. So limited Anima banner, limited Eidos banner at the same time.
Okay, so limited character, and so basically it's a character and a weapon banner, and like basically your character's probably going to be useless without the key Pokemon. Yes, your trainer who buffs Groudon is useless without their Groudon.
This is going to piss people off because
well, when you're able to catch most of the Pokemon, but then you have to pull some of them, that's not a good look.
First off, this game is a creature collector game where you bond with animas in the open world.
Like, if the characters had weapons that, like, buff their skills, it wouldn't be as bad. But the fact that you're trying to lock off the Pokemon behind the gacha is hilarious.
A gacha for the anima sort of ruins that experience of catching those animas.
Yes, because you can just buy them. Literally, you can just buy them. Like it's no longer a catching game when you buy them. Now you're buying it. You're not catching them. That's really just it. It ruins the feel of Pokemon and catching when you sell the Pokemon in the store. Because, guys, a big part of Pokemon is that you're able to get the best stuff in the game for free if you try hard enough. If you work hard enough. If you grind enough, you will get Rayquaza. You will get Arceus. You will get every single legendary that you want if you try hard enough. That's part of why Echoes in this game, in WoW, are nice too. Bro, imagine if you wanted Sigilum. Imagine if your main cost Echo, in WoW, you'd have to pull it. Yeah, no Sigilum allowed for you. You can't get this buff. You can't summon Sigilum unless you pull on the gacha. Great, I can get a 21 crit damage, 10.5% crit rate Sigilum. That's amazing if I try hard enough. Imagine if they gave you a perfectly rolled Echo in the gacha. And that was the only way to get... Oh, imagine you can't use a Sonata set unless you pull it from the gacha. Yeah, by the way, you can farm 4 out of 5 pieces of the Sonata set. The last piece, you can only get it from the gacha. That's what this feels like, bro. Every other part of the game can be collected for free, except this last part, you need to pay for it.
So if people are playing this because they like games like Pokemon or Pal World and have never experienced a gacha, well, they're going to hate that.
Dude, this is going to make people that, bro, and for TFT players, this is like the cornerstone unit of your comp. Think about in the current TFT iteration. This would be like Psionic Master Yi. You can only pay, if you pay money, that's when he's unlocked in the shop. Unless you pay money, you can't get Psionic Master Yi. He won't show up in your shop. unless you pay money, what's it called? Karma. A soul. The carries of your comp won't show up in the shop. You gotta pay money, then they'll show up in the shop, and you can finish off your team comp. That's what this feels like over here. How the fuck do you lock off a key unit for your team comp behind the gacha? When everything else is supposed to be...
What is the point of being a game where you catch creatures?
All good, I go for a Kali 3. Kindred is locked behind the gacha. You can only get Nova 4 unless you pay money. Yeah, your 3-star Akali, she can't activate her Nova Strike unless you pay money.
If you catch them on a gacha instead of in the open world. Sure, in Pokemon Champions, you catch them through a gacha, but that game was made to be exclusively a competitive multiplayer PvP game.
It's gotta be all or nothing. Nobody would care if in a Pokemon game, everything's gacha if everything's gacha. When you're at the point where 99% of the stuff is like free, and then it's like this, bro, and like you're basing the game as a collector simulator, I bet in games where it's like the Pokemon you get from the gacha, they're not designed as like a fucking collector like catcher game.
For Pokemon VGC tournaments. This is not Honkai Nexus Anima. It is a story game with fun single-player modes, not an exclusively sweaty PvP game. Due to that, Hoyoverse really needs to make sure they don't screw up this banner system, because honestly, the buffs you get using a signature anima with a trainer make it so that any banner you pull on for a character, you will have to get their signature anima. There is no in-between on that. If I lose the 50-50 to the anima after I pulled the character or vice versa, I'm going to be pissed. Like,
you can lose the 50-50 on the anima too and the character?
Like, more mad than any other gacha that has a weapon banner.
Bro, that would, dude, bro, they have a 50-50 on the anima.
So basically...
Bro, this is biblical levels of greed. Bro, so it's like, you not only have to pull the Pokemon from the gacha, the Pokemon's got a 50-50.
I really enjoyed this game, and it could possibly be my favorite Hoyo game of all time, and I would really love to cover this game on the channel when it...
Hey, I see why he was positive. He actually likes it, but it's fucked.
...comes out. The problem, though, is that this game needs to have generous banners to really establish itself, and honestly, I don't see Hoyoverse going into a direction where they have generous banners like a game such as Neverness to Everness.
Is this like Pal World? Fuck no, this shit ain't like fucking Pal World, bro. What the fuck are you guys saying?
But I might be wrong. And I hope I'm wrong, because honestly, I had way more fun than I thought I would playing this. But I have a strong feeling coin flip banners will ruin this game more than any other gacha I can think of.
These games don't do well with these types of systems and monetizations and character collection systems. This is really just really not good. And I think the main issue that people are going to run into is that, like, the collection process is going to piss you the fuck off, and you're also just going to be wondering, bro, spending money on this game sounds like just a scam. What are you getting? A fucking .mp4 animation of the character using their ultimate, a couple of VFX, and one unit on like a top-down? Bro, imagine paying money for a unit in an RTS game. Like, you're playing StarCraft 2 and you gotta spend $5 to get a Reaper. Like, you gotta spend $10 on a Void Ray. It's like, bro, it's like one little thing. Bro, I'm spending $10 on this like one little thing, bro? Come on, dude. Like, there's not enough like ownership of the characters in like this sort of format for the gacha to like spending money to make sense. Cause like, bro, you're sharing. It's not even like your character is like owning the team. You have 3 cards down here, so it's like 3 trainers at once. So it feels like even less of like a worth it. I don't know, bro. It just feels like a scam. In other games, you're like, bro, it feels like a bigger scam than HSR where they have 4 animations. HSR already feels like their units are a scam because they're just, like, animations, right? And, like, not actually real gameplay. It's buttons, right? This is one button. We went from HSR's 4 buttons to Honkai Nexus Anima's 1 button. And you're being asked to engage with 50-50s, go through pities, grind pulls for a fucking MP4? A fucking card and an MP4, bro. I'm good on that.
Have any other questions? Feel free to ask in the comments.
Anyways, I can tell that this guy probably did actually play it for 100 hours. Again, like I said before, nothing too wrong about that, but that is an extraordinary amount of time. But I guess that does show how much he actually did like this game. But he didn't really sugarcoat the last part at all, and you can tell there's a lot more problems with what he's talking about than what was mentioned here. And I do think that this game, it's obviously still in beta. It's got a lot of hurdles, a lot of challenges to get through, and I imagine it's going to be in the oven for quite a while. But yeah, that's the Honkai Nexus Anima update, ladies and gentlemen, and it's safe to say there is nothing here actually worth your attention. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.